creating news slides, presentations, all that stuff. Drupal.org, of course, you can go to where you mentioned you can see the community itself and the RC channels. We're creating this California-wide state university group, so we're going to be pushing it. And the best resource that I found was Safari Books Online. Via our library, you can get free access to that online version of that book. You just go to the library website, look for Safari Books, and then you go on, and they have pro Drupal development, using Drupal. Using Drupal is, if you're working on getting started with Drupal, that is the absolute best book. It's written by web chick Angie Byron, who's the Drupal 7 committer. She's totally devoted to usability, and she makes it really easy to walk through all the steps. She walks you through all the steps, getting stuff going, and she has use cases like setting up workflow, getting people creating content. So that's if you're looking to really jump into things, but you're not ready for code and all that stuff yet. Look at using Drupal. Let's see. Training materials, again, on our site. There's YouTube. If you go search Drupal training, there's a lot of good videos. Lynda.com, I mentioned earlier, has stuff. Lullabot has some free stuff, and then they have a lot of paid trainings. So there is paid training out there. Acquia, the official company for Drupal now, is available for training and support on a contract basis, but they're working with contractors like Lullabot to push official trainings to you. So before, Drupal was kind of one of those things where it was kind of scary. You were out on your own. You didn't know if there was a place to go to. Now, at the very least, you have me. You can email me. I'll answer your Drupal questions anytime. And you have these other official resources too that you can go and look at. So don't feel afraid. On campus, we're using Drupal 6. There's those are the major versions of Drupal. There's really got popular with Drupal 4.7, and then Drupal 5 we started with. Banged my head against the wall a little bit with that. And then we got to Drupal 6, and things were a lot better. And Drupal 7 is going to be even more amazing. They really worked on making it easier for you to get started right away. Before, people have said, oh, it's complicated, it's hard for me to jump in and create content and stuff. Drupal 7's kind of fixed that, but they haven't released it yet. They're going to release an official release July-ish, somewhere like there, but it takes a long time for people to catch up with contributed modules, like Sean was saying, all those maintainers that have to push them out there. So if you're thinking of going to Drupal 7, I've actually got some Drupal 7 sites up, but I really recommend get yourself comfortable with Drupal 6 first, wait it out until things are really stable, and then like around August, when you're booting up for fall semester, consider looking at Drupal 7 to do that stuff. Alright, so the very quick demo of a Drupal install. I'm not even going to like physically download everything, but I will start with, I believe I have Drupal.org up here still. Okay, so you go to Drupal.org. You can see right here they have the links always at the top to download Drupal. It's basically a zip file. It's a tar.gz, but it's basically a zip. If you don't have an unzipper, 7-zip, you can download and use that. You can Google free unzipper. You download this file, comes to your computer, you unzip it, and then the next step is you're going to need to set up a web server on your computer. This is for thinking about local development. Obviously, at some point, when you're ready to put your Drupal site out to the world, you're going to put it on a real computer, a real server somewhere. I host a lot of sites at Nearly Peace Beach. We have our own host at SF State. Currently, things on campus are very decentralized. A lot of people are hosting on very different servers. We're here definitely to help you answer questions about your servers. There's talk of sometime perhaps community server hosting centrally. We don't know when that will be, but it's definitely moving in that direction. I'm very optimistic about that. I can't promise you that, but I'm very optimistic that we're working on taking that headache away from you. But in the meantime, you're going to have to do a Drupal install on your own. Oh, and there are, before I forget, there are complete Drupal-ready VMware images or VirtualBox images. If you use a Mac and you load Windows, you might know about parallels and that stuff. That's a virtualization. So you can actually, if you have a server, you can download one of these images, point and click install, and Drupal will be installed on it for you. It's not really available for Windows computers and stuff. This is more like your actual server box. But if you're interested more about that, I can point you in the right direction. So imagine you download Drupal, unzipped it. Your next step is you're going to want to look at how to set up what's called a LAMP stack or a WAMP stack, depending upon which server you're on, or even a MAMP stack for Mac. I usually recommend XAMPP because it's very point and click and easy to use, and it's available for all environments. The only thing is the latest version uses PHP 5.3. I should say what the LAMP stack is. It's usually Linux, Windows, or Mac, and then it's Apache, which is a web server, MySQL, which is a database server, and PHP, which is the actual code itself. Now, you don't need to know what all those are really about. You just need to know that that's what's going to be running. They're just software, just applications like any of your other software on your computer, like a web browser. It's just focused on running your websites. So XAMPP you can download and install pretty easily. The latest version, so I was saying, has PHP 5.3, which Drupal sometimes doesn't quite play nicely with, so sometimes we recommend downloading the older version of XAMPP. But this, again, you would just download, and it's an exe file, and you open it up. Oh, and all of this is in the training we've already done, so there's slides up on that drupal.shu.edu/Drupal, which walks you through it step by step, whereas here I'm giving you the high-level overview. So imagine we download this, installed it, and you can see here at the top, I'm in c/drive/xampp-lite/htdocs. So when you install XAMPP, it creates an XAMPP folder on your computer, and it creates an htdocs folder within that. htdocs is where all your web pages go. So it's just short for, like, you know, here's the web, here's the HTML stuff. And what you do is you just copy your Drupal files. So, you know, if I was in my Explorer shell or wherever you are on your thing, you would just go to hop up here to our main one. I have a lot of Drupal installs, so you can see you don't necessarily have to stick to just one. You have your web server set up, so you can put as many as you want on it. So you can see here I have these Drupal folders, and these are just, I unpacked them from that download from Drupal.org, put them into this htdocs folder, and then they're pretty ready to go. And what you would do then is you would go to your web browser, and you would go to, say, localhost is where it's default to, and it'll bring up your Drupal install, and you'll walk through a Drupal installation. While that's loading up, I'll show you that the step that you're going to need to do for your Drupal installation is, as part of your stack, you have a database server. PHP MyAdmin comes by default with XAMPP. Anything you do, you can install PHP MyAdmin with it. It makes it a web interface to your database server to make it very easy to use. Otherwise, you'd have to go to the command line, type MySQL -u-root do all these fancy commands. But here, you just enter your password, and you jump right in. And you can see I have a bunch of Drupal databases. And if you were going to make one, all you would have to do is, it's probably going to ask me to log in again, but you would go to privileges, and then, let's see, log in real quick. It's set to a timeout because of security. And once we go to privileges, it'll ask us about creating a user. So you can see here, add a new user. And this will be the same for any database software you choose. You're going to have to create a user and a database for it. Drupal also works on PostgreSQL. Drupal 7, the new version, works on many databases. SQLite, even people are running it on Oracle now directly. But again, that's not ready yet for prime time. So right now you're stuck to MySQL or PostgreSQL. So what I would do is I would just say my new Drupal install, something like that. And then I would say localhost just to say, with us, we only want people on our computer to access it. And you can add a generated password, and that's the only thing you really need there is to copy that password because you're going to need it later. and you go create database with the same name and grant all privileges. Again, all these steps are there for you in some slides. You don't have to necessarily remember them off the top of your head. Click go.